This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain a comedy, romance, and fantasy film called When We First Met. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. In 2017, Avery greets her guests while Noah smiles at her from the audience. Avery thanks her guests' presence and recounts how she met her love 3 years ago. In 2014, at the Halloween party, a wigged Noah moved through the crowd. The intoxicated Hulk-costumed man staggered ahead, making Avery and Noah bump into each other. Noah admired her Dottie Hinson costume, a character in his favorite movie, A League of Their Own. When Avery accurately guessed his Garth costume, Noah created a hilarious impersonation. Later, Noah discovered Avery likes grapefruit juice and has no permanent address because she was a soldier's daughter. On the poolside, Avery pointed at the couple kissing across and laughed when they fell in the pool. After calling them tacky when they resumed kissing, Avery recognized the guy as someone she dated once. Noah commented that at least she knew someone at the party, so Avery shared that she came with her roommate, Carrie, who was preoccupied with Jell-O shot doctor. She asked Noah if he wanted to get out of the party, and he agreed. At Danny's jazz bar, Noah revealed he worked there as a pianist and demonstrated his skills. Noah was impressed when she requested a Count Basie piece, but he played an upbeat song instead, while Avery joined in. Avery pulled Noah towards the photo booth, where Noah smiled boringly at the camera, confessing his inexperience. Later, the two played foosball at Avery's apartment and ate cereal for a snack. Afterward, they drank while Noah shared that he quit business school when he discovered he loves playing the piano. When no one noticed an elderly in a picture, Avery revealed she's from a retirement home where Avery organized a fundraiser. Impressed, Noah leaned in for a kiss. Back in the present, Avery concludes that it was love at first sight. Then Ethan approaches Avery and kisses her. Heartbroken, Noah chugs down on liquor. Feeling nauseated, he dashes to the bathroom. Avery sees him and follows him worriedly. When Avery goes into the bathroom, Noah excuses his intoxication to food poisoning. Ethan comes in and offers Noah crackers to alleviate his nausea. Afterward, Ethan compliments Avery's speech and kisses her, but Noah clears his throat. Ethan soon leaves after cheering for Noah, while Avery assists Noah out of the bathroom. Meanwhile, Carrie is beside the food table, snapping candid pictures of the guests. When Avery and Noah approach, Carrie says she's leaving to prepare for a photo shoot. Avery requests Carrie to drive Noah home, but he insists on taking an Uber. Avery makes sure he's okay before leaving to entertain her guests. Carrie also leaves, but Noah accidentally submerges his phone into the bowl, giving Carrie no choice but to drive him. Before leaving, Noah kisses an Avery-Ethan plate and brings it with him. During their drive, Noah eventually confesses he's in love with Avery. Carrie berates him for attending the engagement party, but Noah wants to prove to himself that he can do it. They stop at Danny's, where they meet Noah's friend, Max, who mistakes Carrie for an escort. Offended, Carrie asserts that she's a photographer and says she's leaving because of her early photo shoot at Lafayette Park the next day. Max boasts he's the vice president of the office overlooking the park. Unimpressed, Carrie turns to leave, but Noah stops her. Noah recounts the night when Avery dodged his kiss and hugged him instead. Noah never got another chance because Avery met Ethan at the grocery store the next day when she bought cereal to restock what Noah consumed. Carrie enlightens that relationships are about intangible things beyond his control. Noah isn't meant to be with Avery, so Carrie encourages him to move on. After Carrie leaves, Max sets Noah in the photo booth while he fetches them a ride. Noah is delighted to see the familiar photo booth from 3 years ago. Noah pulls his old pictures with Avery from his wallet and stares longingly at them. As he drops a coin, he wishes for a chance to redo everything to attain Avery's love. Soon, the photo booth flashes. In the morning, Noah awakens and passes by the cabinet where his Garth costume is laid out. He encounters costumed kids when he goes out and assumes Halloween now lasts longer. When Noah stops at a store to buy an Advil and a blueberry-flavored drink, he notices the newspapers dated 2014. Noah asks the store clerk about it, and he confirms they're accurate. When the clerk declares his blueberry-flavored drink isn't in the market yet, Noah is dumbfounded and flees after grabbing the newspapers. Noah heads to Max's office building and finds Max in his cubicle. Noah shows him the newspapers and wonders what's happening. Exasperated, Max assumes Noah's confusion stems from his unemployment, so he offers to ask his boss to hire Noah. Just then, Mr. Costigan orders Max to get his drink. Noah insists that Max is supposed to be the vice president, amusing Max, who clarifies that he's working towards that goal. While Max chatters, Noah spots Carrie across the street. Outside, Noah interrupts Carrie's photo shoot and claims she knows him, but Carrie assumes he's hitting on her. Hoping to convince her, Noah says her name is Carrie and she's Avery's best friend. Max catches up to them and apologizes for Noah's intrusion. Noah deduces that since they don't know each other, it means he can meet Avery before she meets Ethan. Thrilled, Noah concludes that he time traveled, then bolts away. Noah heads to his house and scans his wardrobe, dismissing his Garth costume because it's just cute. Instead, Noah chooses a tuxedo, opting for elegance to mimic Ethan. After dressing up, Noah searches his phone for Count Basie's pieces. At the party, Noah mistakes an Angus Young costumed man as Dottie Hinson, which offends the man. When Noah spots Carrie with Avery, he grabs Jello Shot Doctor to divert Carrie's attention. Then, he sweeps Avery before the Hulk can bump into her. Later, Noah claims his favorite drink is grapefruit juice, feigning coincidence. Beside the pool, Noah reveals he knows her parentage and declares his respect for the military. Avery wonders how he knows, but Noah deflects her attention towards the kissing couple across them. After captivating Avery with his feigned interest in philanthropy, he invites her out. At Danny's, Noah impresses Avery by playing Count Basie and providing trivia about the pianist. In the photo booth, Noah and Avery make faces at the camera. At Avery's apartment, Noah chatters to romanticize their interaction, but Carrie's text distracts Avery. Before leaving, Noah kisses Avery and Carrie arrives soon after. Carrie recognizes him and tells Avery he knows details about them. Avery recalls how he knew her parentage and tags him as a stalker. Noah argues that stalkers wear trench coats with no underpants, whereas he wears a tuxedo. He unzips to prove he's wearing underpants, but the women scream scandalously. Then Carrie strikes him with a plant pot. Noah wakes in the present and texts Avery, apologizing for being sick at her party. Avery replies and asks who he is, but Noah thinks she's jesting. Noah knocks later at Avery's place, where Ethan opens the door and asks how he can help him. Noah apologizes for yesterday's party, making Ethan assume he's a guest. Ethan lets him in and calls Avery just as Noah notices the party setup. Before he can ponder, Avery appears and recognizes him. Avery pepper sprays him and screams for Carrie, who appears and strikes him with a plant pot. When Avery tells Ethan that Noah was the stalker from 3 years ago, Ethan restrains him. To make Ethan release him, Noah bluffs that he has a bomb. Noah hurriedly excuses his deception and dashes away. Noah returns home and searches for clues for his predicament. He extracts his wallet and sees the photos from last night. Realizing that the photo booth is connected to what's happening, he rushes to it and wishes it to take him again. When Noah wakes and sees it's 2014, he realizes he wasn't dreaming about the time travel. Ecstatic, he calls Max and seeks his help. En route to the party, Max emphasizes that Noah must act confident and assertive to win Avery's affection. If the confidence facade fails, he must act like a scoundrel because Max believes girls prefer rude alpha males. When they arrive, Max volunteers to distract Carrie so that Noah can talk to Avery. Noah adheres to Max's suggestions, but he aggravates Avery when he ridicules her costume. Noah offers her a drink to redeem himself and hurries to the bar, where Max advises him to make Avery earn the drink. However, Max's advice makes Avery's patience snap, so she walks away from Noah. Noah catches up to her by the pool, where Avery says she's avoiding him. Noah retains his arrogance and tells Avery not to talk to him like he's her ex-boyfriend. The two banter until Avery pushes him into the pool. Noah tricks Avery into helping him and pulls her in the water. The two argue and splash water against each other until Noah kisses her, concluding their night in Avery's apartment. In the present, Noah wakes beside Avery and cuddles with her, but Avery is confused because he's not supposed to sleep over. Noah expects they're in love, but it turns out they're in an open relationship that usually ends in bed. Avery asks him to leave and throws his leather pants at him. Noah frowns at it, and when he sits up, he sees his highlights in the mirror and realizes he got carried away with the scoundrel act. Noah walks out just as Carrie and Ethan arrive, dressed for a workout. Noah wonders at Ethan's presence, but Carrie asserts they're both Avery's friends, so Noah invites himself to their workout. At the park, Noah struggles to keep up due to his tight pants and eventually embarrasses himself when he stumbles on a bench. Noah exaggerates his scrape to monopolize Avery's attention, but Carrie offers to mend his wound. When Avery and Ethan leave them, Noah is distraught that Avery seems to hate him. Carrie assures him that it's not him Avery hates, but their toxic relationship. Noah argues he has no control over what's happening because he decides, then wakes 3 years later with the consequences. When Carrie mocks his irresponsibility, Noah confesses he's trying to be Avery's dream guy. In the coffee shop, Noah laments that Avery and Ethan seem to end up together no matter how hard he tries to separate them. When Carrie shares that Avery wants stability, Noah realizes that he can be stable and dependable too, because he'd been to business school. Noah returns to the photo booth and declares he'll be Avery's dream guy. When he wakes back in 2014, he wears wears his business suit and heads to Max's office to ask for a job. At the party, Noah initiates his nice guy act by helping the intoxicated Hulk and patronizing Angus Young. Noah approaches Avery and charms her with his American dream costume. Later at Danny's, the pianist dedicates a song to Avery and Noah. After saying they'll miss Noah, the pianist plays Count Basie. When Avery asks what the pianist meant, Noah reveals he quit being a pianist to pursue a grown-up life. Asleep on his table, Noah wakes to his alarm in the present. He notices he has gained weight, but his mood lightens when he sees his proposal picture with Avery on his computer and their engagement party invitation. He heads out to an elegant living room where Avery kisses him and invites him to breakfast. At the breakfast table, Noah admires their luxurious house like a stranger. Brushing off his peculiarity, Avery presents their engagement plate, which renders Noah in awe. Noah admires her diamond ring and kisses her, but Carrie interrupts their moment. Noah discovers that Carrie lives with them, though she claims she's moving out because her exhibit was successful. Avery is ecstatic but disheartened because she'll be alone in the house as Noah often travels. To appease Avery, Noah offers Carrie an indefinite stay in their house. While Noah admires his sophisticated car outside, Avery asks if he'll be on time later for their engagement party, so he assures her that he will. Just then, Noah is bombarded by insistent calls and gets preoccupied. In the office, Noah is congratulated by Costigan and his co-workers for his senior vice president promotion. Later, Max approaches him and asks for a private talk. Noah leads Max to his new office, where Max confronts Noah for stealing the promotion he worked hard for. When Noah calls Max his friend, Max refutes because Noah became unpleasant over the years. Confused, Noah asks if they're enemies, but Max shows him the fingers and leaves. Later, while eating cake sorrowfully, Noah's secretary reminds him of his afternoon meeting. Noah is dismissive but concedes eventually because it'll pay off his wedding and honeymoon. Noah gets appalled to learn he's fully booked for the next 3 months. Noah suggests bailing on his meeting, but the secretary says he'll be fired. Arriving late at his engagement party, Noah walks towards the piano but embarrasses himself when he plays out of tune. Carrie tells him that Avery's with Ethan, so Noah rushes to the bathroom and finds Avery with an intoxicated Ethan. When Noah asks why he's here, Ethan declares he's leaving. Avery offers to let Ethan stay, but Noah volunteers to drive him home. Noah kisses Avery while glancing at Ethan, unaware that Avery's uncomfortable. During their drive, Ethan confesses that he told Avery he's in love with her. Surprised, Noah steps on the brake, causing Ethan's face to smash in the front seat. Ethan reasons that ever since he met Avery, he always felt like they're fated. When Ethan reveals that Avery wishes everything's different, Noah stews in agony. When Noah comes home, he asks Carrie why Avery can't seem to love him. Carrie claims that while Avery cares for him, it isn't love, and they aren't destined to be together. To comfort him, Carrie tells him that relationships are about intangible things, making Noah laugh at her familiar advice. The two smile at each other after admitting they like talking to each other. Resolved, Noah declares he'll time travel to fix their fate. Back in 2014 at the party, Noah drags Ethan and places him on Avery's path, orchestrating their encounter. Ethan compliments Avery's costume, but admits he hadn't seen the movie. Avery confesses she hadn't too, and just wore the costume from Carrie's closet on a whim. Noah overhears and is appalled at Avery's revelation. Setting aside his shock, he plays the matchmaker and leaves the two to talk. Noah approaches Carrie at the food table and creates an instant rapport when he accurately guesses her Dunkin' Donut costume. The two hang out and enjoy the party together. Later at Danny's, Noah plays the piano as Carrie listens, while Avery and Ethan have fun in the photo booth. Noah stops playing and stares at the couple, noting their chemistry. Noah gets fascinated when Carrie plays the piano expertly, while Carrie reveals she influenced Avery's love for jazz. When Carrie confirms that she handmade Avery's costume, Noah realizes that it's him and Carrie who have a lot in common. Enjoying their interaction, Carrie admits she's glad she attended the party. She almost bailed because she's suffering from a bad breakup with Jello Shot Doctor. Avery calls out to them to take a picture. Then together, they make ridiculous faces to the camera. Noah awakens in the present in Max's living room and is relieved when Max confirms they're friends. Noah is pleased that Avery and Ethan's relationship is back on track. However, Noah gets appalled that Carrie reunited with her ex-boyfriend because he thinks he and Carrie are fated. Max asserts that everything's random, but it creates opportunity and he only has to recognize it. Noah contemplates, then leaves soon after. Noah heads to Carrie's place, where he claims he and Carrie are fated the way Avery and Ethan are. But when he kisses her, Carrie pushes him away because she's in a relationship. Noah learns Avery and Ethan's engagement party was last night, a day early caused by his intervention. Noah tells Carrie that she's right, that relationships are about moments, and with whom they share them. Noah confesses the most real moment he had was with Carrie, so he'll fix their situation. When Noah arrives at Danny's, he discovers that the photo booth has been replaced by a new one. Noah gets distraught, believing that he's stuck with his loveless reality. Later, Noah gets in the new photo booth and takes pictures while drinking miserably. Suddenly, Avery appears and asks why he's in that awful photo booth when he has the best one at home. She reminds him that she gifted the old photo booth to him as a tribute to their friendship. Seeing a chance to fix everything, Noah declares he'll go back and let everything happen as it is, so he'll be able to meet Carrie properly. Noah is relieved to find the photo booth at home and time travels one last time. That night in 2014, Noah lets the events go as it is, and when Avery hugs him, Noah wholeheartedly accepts her platonic affection. At the engagement party in the present, Noah asks Carrie if she believes Avery and Ethan's love at first sight story. Carrie admits that she would usually disagree, but she believes in fate. Noah invites her for a drink and entices her with jazz. This ignites the beginning of their life together.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.